Hello, this is Yahweasel. This is going to be a weird one. I feel like I could say that on about half my videos because this is Mandrake Linux Gaming Edition, so it is game-related. I play games on my channel, and this is a game-related thing. This is Mandrake Linux Gaming Edition from December 2001, so let's call it 2002. Let's see, United States is fine. Oh, what? This is the license agreement? Really? Oh, no, okay, that's just... Please read carefully this document. Technically correct, not great. That's... If this is the entire license agreement, this must say somewhere, read the thing that came in the box. Okay, whatever. It's from 2002 from a company that's defunct. I don't care about their license agreements. So, this is Mandrake Linux Gaming Edition. It came with... I have a wheel mouse. It came with... Oh, God. I don't have a... Wait. Yes, I do have a wheel mouse. It just went insane for a second. It's fine. It's fine. It's great. Okay. It came with The Sims, and in fact, it was the only official version of The Sims for Linux ever. That is any version of The Sims, but certainly The Sims 1. Wow. Well, I guess I did choose expert mode. I was surprised for a second that it didn't auto-allocate for me. Yes, simple is fine. So what, oh no, don't do that. No, I hate having a separate home partition, because I always just end up using up my whole slash partition. No, we don't want that. How much do you want for swap? You wanted 243 megs. I gave you 2 gigs of RAM, and you wanted 200, okay, whatever. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to undo all of that. We're going to create something that is, like, why is this just a slider? Can I not choose this exactly? Why is this just a slider? That's insane. Okay, whatever. Yes, that, and then the rest can be swap, okay? Work with me here. Okay, great. That's fine. Done. Great, go. Yes, format all. I'm trying to get to the point where I'm actually installing so that I can start sort of talking about the story of Mandrake Linux Gaming Edition, but there's a lot of steps before then. So, I'm going to start from the very beginning. I'm going to start from before Linux. So, the Commodore 64. If you boot the Commodore 64, you are now in a programming environment. That's how it works. You're in the REPL loop for BASIC on the Commodore 64. You boot it and you're there. I have everything. I have all of these. It is weird. So this is the Disk 3 Commercial Application CD1 is indeed labeled physically Commercial Application CD1, but there's no Commercial Application CD2. I assume The Sims is Commercial Application CD2, but it didn't label it that way for some reason. Anyway, yeah, I have everything. Yes, The Sims, do it. Game Station. Turn that on. Internet station. I don't even have... I turned off networking for this system because obvious. No, I don't want any configuration. I do want console tools. I do want development tools. I don't want GNOME. I do want KDE. Oh, this was the days of KDE 3. Oh, KDE 3. KDE 4 is one of the worst abominations against humanity in the history of the world. KDE 3 is probably the best desktop environment ever made. It's incredible how they screwed that up. And I don't need to be a server for anything. So that's fine. That's perfect. Let's throw in the documentation too. Yeah, that's not too big. Oh, I don't want individual package selection. I'm fine with just the group selection. Fine, go. Okay. Sure. I didn't intend to choose that. Okay, we're finally to the point of actually installing. Man, I remember this install screen. So, Commodore 64, you boot it up, you're now in the programming environment, and that's partially because the systems were just simpler and you kind of had to be. How can there only be 3 minutes remaining? And that's partially because, at the time, it was just assumed that that's what computers were for. Like, if you booted a computer, that's because you wanted to program it to do something. And the people who are of that mind went in the Unix direction and eventually the Linux direction, for the most part. There are obviously exceptions, but for the most part, they did that. I need to switch out this device. Second installation, right? Yes, second installation CD. This is going to be much faster than I expected it to be, apparently. Okay. Meanwhile, the Apples and Microsofts of the world focused on being easier to use, but a little bit more restrictive in terms of not exactly what you can do. They're still programmable, but they don't sort of present themselves in a programmable way easily. Some components contained in the next CD media are not governed by the GPL license or similar agreements. Yes, they're commercial software, fine. Commercial applications. Oh, this is going so fast. I'm not going to be able to tell the story. Commercial application CD. Oops, clicked out of the window. Oops, still clicked out of the window. But the fact that those of us who think that computers are for programming have switched largely over to Linux doesn't mean that we never want to play video games, for example. Please work. I did. Oh no. Oh no! I have it though! Oh, if this doesn't work, this is gonna really ruin my day. Please hold. Now will it work? I'm rereading the CD. Worst case scenario, I can do this directly off the CD drive. But while it's reduplicating the CD, I am going to attempt to continue telling the story here. So the people who believe correctly that computers are devices to be programmed moved in one direction. The people who didn't sort of followed the Apple and eventually Microsoft direction. Microsoft overall kind of won the world, and is certainly the most popular, or at least it was up until mobile devices absolutely had Microsoft's lunch, and hey, somehow Linux won there. But anyway, the consequence of that, because those of us who believe correctly that computers are devices to be programmed still do want to play games and such, but because games naturally followed popularity, and popularity follows many, many, many factors, but amongst them is ease of use, and there's a direct conflict between ease of use and computers are things meant to be programmed, so games sort of followed in the Windows path. But there are definitely people on Linux who would rather, be able to play games. The story nowadays, and I'm recording this on December 31st, 2018, so basically 2019. Let's call it 2019. The story nowadays is actually really good for gaming on Linux, and there's a whole fascinating story as to why that happened kind of recently, sort of around 2015, 16, well, really like 2012 to 2016, that whole range. But it was the dark ages back in the early 2000s and even before then. Now, I actually used Mandrake Linux in 2002 when this was released, and so I sort of saw from afar this gaming edition that, of course, I couldn't buy. I was essentially a child, not really a child. I was young, but it promised to play games. So, let's talk about why that exists, how that happens, etc. There were two directions that gaming on Linux went. One of them was emulate Windows, and one of them was native games for Linux. The emulate Windows solution is basically Wine. Wine is a software product so emulate, people misunderstand the meaning of the term emulate. It is not a PC emulator. It doesn't emulate an entire computer. It emulates the software interface of Windows, allowing you to run Windows programs on non-Windows operating systems. Nowadays, Wine is really, really good. It's amazing, and a huge portion of the games out there work perfectly, and ironically, games from just about this era, maybe a little bit earlier than this, particularly like late 90s, very, very early 2000s games for Windows, often have a lot of trouble running on Windows nowadays, and they run really, really well on Wine. We on Linux are actually much, much better for running games of that era than Windows people are. The games just before them were for DOS, mostly, and they'll run on anything through DOSBox. But that era, sort of 98 to 2000, well, whenever XP was released, basically, we're actually better on Wine nowadays. But Wine is great now. At the time, Wine was kind of garbage. Now, at some point, I don't remember exactly when, maybe 2000, something like that, Wine split because it changed its license in a way that made it so there couldn't be commercial versions of Wine. And the split version that still allowed commercial versions of Wine was called Wine X. And Wine X was eventually taken up by, well, eventually, probably immediately upon creation, taken up by TransGaming to make Kadega. And Kadega was like Wine for gaming. That's what it advertised itself as. It was supposed to run all your favorite Windows games on Linux and just work for 2002 era. And it promises to run lots of games. The Sims in particular, I think even on Kadega, essentially didn't work. The Sims, for some reason, has always been a huge problem with Wine. Like the original Sims, The Sims 1. Later versions work fine. But certainly at the time, you couldn't do it. It was just not possible. And nowadays, yeah, Wine is really, really good, but not sort of the solution. The other option was native games for Linux, and there was a company, Loki Entertainment, that managed to port many, many games to Linux. I think they were still in business at the time of Mandrake Linux Gaming Edition, but they were certainly going out fast. They went out of business, I want to say, in 2002. The basic problem is, in the 1998 to 2002 era, if you were making games for PCs, they were boxed, and you can't, like, here's a boxed game, by the way, this is the Linux version for all 3 of the Linux users out there, have fun. It's just absurd. It was never gonna happen. So that was not a great business strategy. I assume you could purchase them online and get them shipped, but, like, even buying things online and shipping, like, I mean, I had internet in 2002. A lot of people didn't, and it was not sort of... Yeah, Amazon wasn't a thing yet. You just didn't buy things online like that. That's just not how it worked. So, let's see. The question that I want to answer with this video is, which of these is The Sims for Linux? Because Mandrake Linux Gaming Edition comes with The Sims, and it comes with Wine X, or, well, with Kadega, that is. So, is this a specialized version of The Sims for Windows that's been fixed to work under Kadega, in which case, notionally, it could work on a modern Linux system too, with Wine, but maybe not, who knows? Or is this an actual Linux-compiled version of The Sims? Or is it some kind of weird mix where it has some bits that are Windows parts through Kadega and some bits that are native Linux parts? There's actually an in-between option, which is Wine can be used in a library where you compile a native Linux application but with Windows interfaces, and thus you can mix and match, so that's a possibility in between. I have no idea. And it's just fascinating to me that this thing existed. I certainly didn't have it at the time. I have it now, so we will hopefully find out. The SimCD is still reading, so I'll be right back again. Okay, that's read. My fear here is copy protection, so let's see. Oh! Well, it's doing something. The thing is, given how difficult it was to get a copy of that CD, copy protection might give me a bad time. Okay. Very insecure root password. Fine. Real name, Yahweasel. Username, Yahweasel. That, I feel like I typed that wrong. My super secure password is just the username twice. This system isn't on any network, so I don't care. Oh god, I wish I'd stuck with the first one. Yeah, there we go, that'll do. Already added Yahweasel, okay. Choose the default user, Yahweasel. In KDE, that's great. Yeah, use auto detection. You have no network. Okay, I'm happy with all of this. Okay, it even detected the AC97 audio. That's pretty good. Fine, start the normal services. I hope I don't need this. Let's not. Lilo, man, 2002. Grub is like this secondary option. I guess Grub exists. Oh, and Dev HDA instead of SDA. Wow. I'm having really bizarre, nerdish sort of nostalgia here. That's fine. Great, thank you. Ooh, Enterprise. Enterprise. I don't know why this one is up when that one's Enterprise. Great, I'm happy. Do I want to have? Why would I want the older one? This was, okay, so this was in the new days of free desktop. Or was this still in the days of X386? Oh, I'm trying to decide what the significance of this is. I'm sure I want the new one. Why would I want the old one? Sure, great. I can do 1024 by 768. Why not? And yet, don't run it at 1024 by 768. Can I run it at 1280 by 1024? Actually, no. You know what? For The Sims, that's not going to work anyway. So let's stick with 800 by 600. Great. Thank you. Yeah, let's test it. Great. Please hold. I seem to have really improved things. Man. And people wonder why gaming on Linux never really took off. Hardware configuration in these days was not fun on Windows either. It's just that Windows usually came pre-installed. I don't think I can get out of this. If I... Yeah, okay. We might just have to try again. Okay. Good thing I'm running a virtual machine. I took a snapshot of the machine state just now. Okay, so... Okay, it has actually correctly detected I was running a VMware virtual video card, which is what it should have detected. I'm going to guess maybe the problem is 32-bit. Let's try 24-bit. Okay, after infinity years of trying to make this work, I've come to the conclusion that the problem might not even be real. So let's just reboot and see if it actually loads properly, because it like almost gets a display mode. It makes me think that it's sort of an initialization problem. So let's just see if it'll start up in a normal, proper startup mode correctly. This is not the kind of thing I was intending to be like my main adventure here. Now this should be fbdev here, so I should be able to just do fbdev, right? That's bad. Oh. Oh, no, that's bad. It would not be doing this if it was working. Okay, same theory this time with a standard VGA adapter. Let's see if it works this time. I am in full desperation mode here. In my attempt to fix it there, I ran it in QEMU instead. QEMU is usually better at this kind of thing than than VirtualBox, rather, which is what I'm using. But, well, no, actually, VirtualBox is usually better at older things. I don't know. They're just weird. I couldn't even get it started in QEMU at first, and this is an exciting adventure. Oh no, that looked bad. That looks very bad. Oh, the nightmares. What's stupid is, of course, the installer managed to figure the damned thing out, but the moment you get it installed, now it's impossible. Okay, new strategy. I went in and figured out what this installer is running, and I'm going to see if I can just replicate that. The installer runs fbdev. No, don't be that. Can I, like, click here and restart that and not go to that? No, don't be that. Ah, there we go. Cancel did it. Okay, change graphics card. I'm just going to try and go with the mode that I know works because it is what the installer itself is using. I chose other, right? Unlisted. fbdev. Resolution. That should work. Test again. It didn't feel like testing. That's probably fine. Maybe it didn't need to test because that was literally the mode it was already in. This is so not going to work. Oh, it's so not going to work, though. Come on, Mandrake Linux Gaming Edition. This is also like the stupidest way possible to run this because fbdev, like that. Let's just not go into it. It's not really meant to be how you run it. Because this is fbdev. fbdev is sort of your initial boot, just make things work environment, and it works. Whatever, it works. It's only 16-bit, but that should be fine for our purposes. The first time wizard. Obviously, I want KDE. Oh, that's very funny. Do I want KDE Redmond? Let's go with default KDE. I always like default KDE 3. Oh, KDE 3. Just KDE 4, really. Why? Why KDE 4? It's not good. Oh, can I just not? I can just not. Can I? No, I'm not doing anything to do with networking. Whatever, do it, fine. Yes, auto-detect that I have nothing. I already did that on install. Why are you doing it again? What? Oh. Is Linux ready for the desktop? The answer is no. The answer is no in 2002, that's for sure. Can we not cancel? Okay, good enough. Oh, God. Hey, I finally got into the window manager. That seems fun. Wow, look at this ugly desktop it's made for me. It's just like stuff spewed all about. I wonder if the Mandrake store works. I'll bet it doesn't. We're here for The Sims. But I would very much like to know... Oh, wow, it's actually a desktop file. Really? In 2002? I didn't even know desktop files existed in 2002. Okay, so that's running user bin The Sims. What we want to know is, what is user bin The Sims? That is not how you maximize a window. Okay, that's a shell script. No great surprise there. Okay, this was written by TransGaming. EA had nothing to do with it. No great surprise there. That's sort of, wine prefix. Wine X. I've gotcha. Okay. So this is actually Wine X. It's worth noting, as I said, I think I said, The Sims notoriously never worked on Wine. I'm not even sure if it works on Wine now. It must. But it also really didn't work on Wine X. So this is actually a custom version of The Sims for Wine X. Wow, your language options are English, English UK, or Chinese. Really? Those are the two languages you support? English and Chinese? I mean, I guess if you're trying to cover the most people in the world, great. Did this even... Oh, wait, here we go. User data is... Okay, let's stop trying to read this. Let's actually run it. I'm going to run it here. In fact, I'm going to run it here, and just for giggles, I am going to take a log. It's building the font metrics. This may take some time. Mount no medium found. That probably means the SimCD isn't in, but I think the SimCD is in, isn't it? The SimCD is emphatically not in. Bear in mind that if I had double-clicked this on the desktop, I wouldn't get this output. Ah, there we go. Please insert the SimCD. I can do that. And ka-chunk. Retry. I am hoping that there's not any bizarre copy protection going on here, and this is just going to work. Oh, wow. Whee! There's the real license agreement. Standard license. What's interesting is this is a license between TransGaming and me, not a license between EA and me. It says, like, TransGaming grants you both the rights to TransGaming and EA's. Yeah. That does not grant you the right to modify. TransGaming grants you the right to install and use the TransGaming and Electronic Arts software, so I'd love to see what the license is between them, except that TransGaming doesn't exist anymore, so oops. Anyway, also worth noting, it uses Ogg Vorbis. I kind of doubt that the original Sims used Ogg Vorbis. It could have. A lot of things used Ogg Vorbis to avoid patent fees, but who knows. Anyway, let's accept. The serial number can be found on the CD sleeve. One moment. Okay, serial number entered. No, I am not showing you my serial number for The Sims for Linux. It's worth mentioning here, these are all clearly Linux dialogues. These aren't Wine dialogues yet. Not too surprising. You don't have Canadian English. How dare you? Okay, here's a more realistic list. It's so weird that they had, like... whatever. Let's not try and understand their shell script. Mozilla or Netscape. Yeah, I have Netscape installed. If you have not yet registered, the chosen browser will bring you to the registration area, where you will also be able to subscribe to our support service. Can I not subscribe? This will be difficult to run if I must subscribe. And close. Hopefully that was unimportant. Oh, thank you for installing. Please enjoy the game. It's doing something. It's not making any sound yet, which is unfortunate. It's also still showing the bar at the bottom, which is very unfortunate. It also doesn't seem to be loading the game, which is particularly unfortunate. Oh my god, it's loading the game. Oh my god, it's The Sims. Can I not with this bottom bar? It doesn't seem to matter right now because the screen is here. Wow, it's just like not drawn over that. That's amazing. Oh, in fact, yeah, this is still the cursor from The Sims. I don't think it even... No, it is actually displaying that because that's blinking. That's weird. I wish I had sound. I wonder if I can resolve this sound issue. Well, let's try and resolve this sound issue. This is probably my favorite audio mixer in the world. Good job, KDE3. Mixer. Save mixer settings, load mixer settings. Could you, like, show me the mixer settings? That would be cool. Wow, wait. The Sims is still running. Okay, we're just gonna kill that. That's probably fine. What is it, a mixer? I thought it was also mixer. Is it not also mixer in this era? Oh no, also mixer, a mixer. Is it not even also? Is this OS? Of course it's also. Where's my sound? It's worth mentioning, by the way, that sound was garbage at this time in Linux's history. KDE had its own Arts sound server. I wonder if The Sims is incompatible. The problem is I don't know whether this is a problem with the virtual machine, or with The Sims, or with KDE, or with absolutely anything. This feels entirely silent, doesn't it? Dang it! Oh, I don't want to fall at the last hurdle here. I realize it's just sound is not that big of a deal, but like, ah! Yes! Sound! I had to switch to, I had to switch my sound driver in the virtual machine. Not really Mandrake's fault. My fault. Now, this thing at the bottom, we're gonna have to deal with that somehow. This probably should have sound. I wonder if the CD audio doesn't work. I wonder if this is CD audio. I wonder if this just doesn't have sound. This should have sound. This should have music. This should have sound. Oh, come on. No, I know sound is working now. We did it. I just skipped that opening cinematic. Okay, wait. I can shrink that to the right so it'll at least get mostly out of the way. Let's hear the opening cinematic. I mean, it's just the opening cinematic to The Sims. I don't know what I'm doing here. Sims really hasn't changed much, has it? It's kind of the same game in The Sims 4 as it was in the original The Sims. I love how it goes past Kadega TransGaming's own technology there, just to sort of skip it. Is this... What is happening with my... Why can't I select that one? Oh, can I select that? Oh, this is the tutorial. It demands that I select this one. Okay, fine. I'll click it. Welcome to the Sims tutorial. Press OK to continue. Here's an overview. Okay, well, you know what? I don't actually need to show you the tutorial of The Sims or anything in The Sims. I suppose if people really wanted me to do like a Let's Play of The Sims in Mandrake Linux Gaming Edition, I could do that. But this, ooh, that's displaying slightly squonky, isn't it? Oh, that's because this is still there! Oh, I wonder if it works better under GNOME. I insisted on using KDE. You know, okay, wait, last plan. Okay, am I allowed to directly launch this as a user? And if so, can I tell you just to run xterm, wherever xterm is installed? Right there. Not like that. How about like this? Do I remember how to do this? Oh, God. I think I was thinking of Xinit. Was I thinking of Xinit? Yes, yes, okay. No desktop environment can stop me. Yes, it looks like it's full screen. I shouldn't have said yes prematurely. Okay, moment of nonsense audio there. That's probably fine. Yes, it's full screen. It's full screen. We can do it. I should say some of these issues are just because I'm running it in a virtual machine. They're not real problems with The Sims. So, lesson learned. The Sims for Linux isn't... I'm just going to let the credits run because why not? The music's great. The Sims for Linux is not The Sims for Linux. It is The Sims for Cadega for WineX. Was it even called Cadega at the time? I think it might have just been called WineX. Cadega might have been a later name. Anyway, it was The Sims for Cadega for WineX. And sort of adapted to work under WineX, obviously, and with a bunch of sort of surrounding stuff to make it quick and easy to install. I really doubt if it would be quick and easy to install on, say, a modern Linux system. That would never happen. Maybe one of these days I'll like to attempt that and see what happens. But on, you know, the system of the era, if I didn't have to do this weird graphics install to make it work, it would probably be kind of fine. So is WineX just under WineX? Oh, I don't even have normal WineX installed. I mean, I'm sure I can install it. Let's see. Mandrake of the era. I think it's a URPMI. Really? Then why isn't it only WineX Sims? That's odd. That's really strange. It's like, so they have a specific version of WineX only for The Sims. I'm entering the modern era. I keep trying to use sudo. Everyone watching this video has no idea what the hell I'm talking about. Oh, is that? Oh, no, that's... How do you use URPMI? It's been so many years. I mean, yeah, WineX, please. Like, the proper WineX, not the... Well, anyway, I can presumably ask you for your version anyway. Or, if I attempt to ask you for your version, you will build font metrics. Oh, God, it's the... So, WineX Sims is the what? The wrapper is also on Wine, so if you just try to, like, you can't use it for any other Windows application. This is so weird. This is so odd. It's so strange. Oh, it's really weird. I kind of want to further investigate, but I mean, my main sort of intrigue has now been satisfied because it is indeed just the Windows version of The Sims sort of awkwardly made to work on Linux with WineX. Copyright 2001, TransGaming. I probably shouldn't even be showing you this, technically. This is copyrighted material. Man. Oh, did it? Wait. Install... Oh, okay, no. Run Wine is that. Show me all your debug messages. I love that. Oh, no, that's minus all. It takes off all the debug messages. Fine. This is fascinating to no one who isn't me. I'm just really curious now how... Dang it, stop typing sudo. How you get WineX other than the version specifically for The Sims. I know this comes with just general WineX. Cadega? No package named Cadega. URPM F? Is that for... Oh, God, what have I done? Thanks for not actually telling me what URPMF is. Oh, that finds which package a file belongs to. URIPMQ, is that query? That... I just want to know. Like, show me what's installable. Like, show me which packages are available. The package manager will know. Yes, they're all in RPM, thank you. Can I just, like, search? Graphical package manager. That looks like search. Find package. RPM. I'm looking for anything to do with wine. WineX Sims. Is this only installed? What? How is there no other WineX? What is this? I found a whole new area of intrigue here, because somehow there's only WineX Sims. So what's on the other CD? What's on the commercial application CD? Let's find out. There are no sources on it. I mean, this is just The Sims. This has got to just be The Sims. I forgot to eject. Let's get it unconfused here. Switch to the commercial application CD. Open the CD. There we go. Okay, it comes with NVIDIA drivers, for example. That's interesting. Star Office. Is it? I know that this is fascinating to no one who isn't me, but this is really fascinating to me. I mean, the box says that it has WineX. Oh no, that's right! Oh my god, I'm gonna go read the box at you. 1 second. Oh, this is amazing. Run popular Windows games on Linux with TransGaming Technologies portability layer. You can run StarCraft, Baldur's Gate, Half-Life, Counter-Strike, and many more. Free 3-month subscription to TransGaming included. I think, in fact, I know that TransGaming was a subscription service, and I think they included nothing except a specialized version of WineX that only runs The Sims. So you get that as your taster, and if you want more, if you want to run other games, you had to go and subscribe to TransGaming, which of course is long since defunct. Oh, this is very funny to me. So, could I, if I was feeling not malicious, but clever, could I just use the version of WineX that WineX Sims uses for other purposes? Because this is doing all this crap, but ultimately it's got to be running... Okay, what's installed there? Userlib the Sims, userlib the Sims, WineX Sims bin wine. Gee, all those library paths and such were probably important. Bin is in the library path? What sort of insanity is that? Yeah, let's just throw bin in the library path. What could possibly go wrong? Let's assume lib is maybe sufficient. Okay. That's odd. Why does this exist at all? What happens if I just take that away? So, at the very least, they've set it up so it doesn't auto-config. So it would be really, really difficult to actually use it. It probably is sufficient to run other things, but this is clearly a very specialized version of Wine for The Sims. That is so interesting. That's like co-design on a really strange level, because this doesn't feel like a general-purpose version of Wine. What if I tried to use their Sims-specific wine directory and just run something else? Okay, wine prefix is that one. And we're gonna run... We're gonna remember what the command was. User lib the sims, okay. This was before the days of var. Winex sims bin wine. So I'm betting you could use this... Wow, DOS version to imitate. Wow. Man, this is some ancient version of the wine. Oh yeah, wine release it's based on is 2000. Of course it is, 2001. What else would it be from? I don't have anything else to test is the thing. Yeah, well, you know what? Let's grab something silly. 1 second. Okay, let's see. So, Firefox, this calls itself Mozilla still, because this was early days for Firefox. Firefox is usually my sort of go-to, because it works really well in Wine. CD-ROM, I mean, it's doing something. So it looks like you can kind of sneak your way into... This is the downloader. Oh no, I really did not want the downloader. Anyway, it ran, that was the point. So you can sort of sneak your way into a working version of Wine X, even though they clearly didn't intend for you to do that. They sort of bundled it specifically to work with The Sims, and I'm betting this is not the same Wine X you got at the time, if you had, completed this sentence. This is not the same Wine X you get if you would actually... Which command was it? Oh yeah, that's right, I did that, and then I ran The Sims. Probably not the same WineX you got if you actually subscribed. And probably this is the only way to get a WineX that could run The Sims. So, I don't know, this is kind of incredible, actually. Wow, that's so weird. So they must have sort of hacked both a bit, and just hacked them until they kind of worked together. That's so weird. That's pretty wild. Anyway, that was Mandrake Linux Gaming Edition. Extraordinarily long video with no actual gaming content. I haven't actually played The Sims at all because it's just The Sims. I guess one major upside of them doing it this way is that it might actually be possible to install the various Sims extensions on this. If it had been a true Linux version, it would have just been impossible. It would have been totally incompatible with all the extensions, because the extensions really replace The Sims. But this seemed... Wait. Just momentarily shocked because I think they showed a gay relationship in the opening cutscene there. Not that last one, but the second to last one. Just seems unusual for, like, 1999 or whenever The Sims was released. Anyway, we're done! That's Mandrake Linux Gaming Edition. Perhaps some other time I will look at how painful it would be. Well, I can find out very quickly how painful it would be. Yeah, libc 2.2.4. So, freaking impossible to get this to run on any modern Linux system, but it could be an interesting experiment to try to get it to run under, like, a change root or something. The kernel is probably compatible, it'll just be libc that causes issues, and X is still compatible. So, wow. That was a weird, wild little adventure there. That's Mandrake Linux Gaming Edition. That was my first sort of jab at it. Tell you what, if at any point people want me to play The Sims on this, I don't know, so I only play obscure games. Mandrake Linux Gaming Edition is obscure, but The Sims actually isn't. But there's some kind of attractive obscurity about playing The Sims on Mandrake Linux Gaming Edition, so I might be open to that. Oh, but until then, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, leave a like below, or join us on Discord at yahweasel.com/Discord. Cheers from Yahweasel.